I'm Bev Rilett, and I am an assistant research professor and a lecturer at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln in the English department. I've also been an academic copy editor for about 25 years. I'd like to talk a little bit about some tips and tricks and things to look for when you're doing an academic copy edit. First of all, the thing that you need to know is it's got to be a holistic piece with a beginning and a middle and an ending. You have to be able to identify these sections. You also need to think about an academic piece in terms of an argument. All academic writing, even if it's a grant proposal, but usually I'm talking about dissertations or monographs, these are pieces of argument that interpret other works, other pieces of evidence in a particular way. So what you're looking for in the introduction is a statement that summarizes not only the topic, but the argument, the debatable point, really, in the piece. And then when you're faced with a number of disorganized paragraphs, the ways that you can think about reorganizing them or making suggestions for reorganization, you don't actually go in and make any changes. You make comments, obviously, about the kinds of things that can be improved. But what I look for is a topic sentence, first of all, at the beginning of each paragraph that summarizes or leads into the single argument or subpoint in that paragraph. So each paragraph should have its own idea, its own subpoint. And within that paragraph, you usually will find evidence that supports that subpoint and an explanation of the subpoint and how that relates to the overall argument and some kind of connection then between the introduction and then the first point. And then it naturally will move to the second point with some kind of transition sentence. So the transition sentence that you usually are looking for connects the paragraphs together and will usually refer towards or hint at the next point that's going to be made or refer back to the point that's just being made, and then it makes the next point, and so on and so on. So each paragraph really has its own structure of point, proof, discussion, transition. Point, proof, discussion, transition. If you think of it that way, it will help those paragraphs become more organized and logical. And this is the way that you can develop the argument throughout the paper in a natural, flowing kind of way. And then when you get to the conclusion, it's almost like an inverse pyramid. So if you think about the introduction as narrowing down from a wide topic towards a statement of argument, you can flip that triangle upside down by thinking of the thesis statement first and then broadening out from the argument back into a connection with other topics or a real world experience. You might have in your conclusion the answer to the question, so what? Why is this important to know? Once you've gone through this argument all the way through and proven it, it's really the connection to why you started in the first place. And I think just having this kind of a structure throughout, even a very long book, if you can find a flow, a pathway through that it's logical and builds from one piece to the next piece to the next piece, you'll have a better overall piece of work. And I think that pretty much can apply, those general principles can be applied to short academic pieces as well as very long ones.